Oracle's Future of CX event. And Daniel, I'm going to give most of this to you, but when Larry Ellison shows up, you know that it must be important and must be strategic. And that's exactly what happened here. Larry showed up and he gave the keynote. So, Daniel, what were your thoughts?
Well, first of all, nice bedroom, Larry. Thanks for letting us get inside. I don't know which home or which island of yours you were happened to be on at this moment in time, but
Rob,
definitely felt very intimate, Pat, to get into the behind the scene. It's also such a true reflection of a man that's had his level of success that he's gonna come on and talk about whatever to whomever, wherever, and going to do a good job. Really, Pat, I said that the announcements that were made with him and Rob Tarkoff there were really set on two big topics. There was an investment in virtual selling and another in virtual buying. That was the two big things. So, the company focused on creating better experiences. Let's just kind of we'll kind of start here. It's customer intelligence, it's configuration, it's new subscription management, it's commerce and content. So, I'll give you one. I had a standout announcement on the buying side, and then a standout announcement on the on the selling side. But the customer intelligence improvements were really, Pat, what stood out to me. CX Commerce integrating with their Unity platform provided a streamline of the data environment that basically allowed structured and unstructured data to start to live together, Pat. And this, to me, is a huge deal because essentially what's going on now is companies have gotten pretty good at dealing with the structured data. This is the data that lives inside your databases, in your ERP, in your Salesforce administration. But where we're seeing this massive growth, you heard about Segment being acquired by Twilio. You're hearing about Unity from Oracle, Microsoft Customer Insights. All these are platforms, or CDPs, these customer data platforms, give the promise of being able to do a 360 of your customer. And that's both the data that lives in your system and that unstructured data that lives throughout the internet, and bring all those things together to create one experience. And that's really, to me, was kind of the takeaway, is Oracle is fully invested in CX through the lens of CDP. It's through the lens of integrating back office and front office, and through the lens of unstructured and structured data together. And the only other thing I noted that was, they did launch a communication solution, but just vertical solutions as a whole. There's a company called C3 AI that recently announced a partnership with Microsoft and Adobe. Well, Oracle on its own is really tackling the same thing and saying, we're going to build out vertical focused solutions, whether it's telecom, healthcare, or finance, that are going to be fully integrated. They're going to be API and UI and UX driven, and they're going to use the skills and experiences that Oracle has because of its hundreds of thousands of customers that are in its system. So all this in a SaaSified model, pretty impressive, pretty good start. And of course, like you said, when Larry shows up, it must be something pretty important.
Yeah. It's funny. Oracle has gone from a relative unknown in this space to setting the agenda. I think this whole notion of connecting the back end to the front end without having 47 APIs and being in real time, nobody can deny that isn't a value, right? And in an ironic twist, Salesforce looks to be behind, and SAP really doesn't have a huge seat at that table. Now, ironically, SAP does have the back end. They just can't seem to connect the two together. And I think the other point that I really appreciated was real examples of real customers who made the switch from Salesforce. And, some of their stories I drilled in on to see, how much reality was behind it. But they had CIOs and VP of marketing saying that it was actually easy to transition, even if you did some of the customizations for Salesforce. So all in all, Oracle seems to be on the move in cloud. and whether that's IaaS or SaaS. And I'm pretty surprised. I know I keep bringing that up, but it was a big surprise. So
yeah, I have to say, and I know we got to jump to the last thing. Just one last thought on this, though, is Oracle as a whole just continues to be gaining some really positive momentum from sources I don't expect. You know, you're just hearing more positive sentiment. There's something going on, and I think that, and I mean, you and I are two people that were pretty outspoken critics at times, and I go to these meetings, and they've had lots of them, lots of these. They just did an ERP event this week to go at their CX event. But the point is the innovation is continuous, and Larry seems to really be on a tear right now, and it's a different company. It just feels different.
Yeah, it feels different. And I think Oracle plays a better front game than it does a back game. Okay. But once they get up there, I think they know how to move it forward.